from there. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Hey, folks. Thanks for tuning into the Banff podcast. This is our Savage Die Thursday, and we're lucky enough to have Jodi Black from Pinnacle along with Christopher Landauer. How are you guys doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I
Yes.
appreciate you coming out. I am contractually obligated to play some cheesy opening music, so please indulge me. 1 second. And folks, that delightful opening montage assures you're listening to a high quality, high production value podcast, ethically sourced.
The best kind.
Best farm to table geeky podcast out there you can find. So
I'd say we're organic, but I'm full of chemicals. So
kept alive through chemistry.
Nice segue, Landauer. So I'm a little bit less full of chemicals right now because I'd like to do a little public, service announcement. I just gave blood. So I would like to say if you are eligible to give blood and it doesn't give you like the complete heebie-jeebies crying in the corner kind of idea of doing so, please do it because it's so necessary and it's not somebody else's problem, it's yours. So, it's really necessary. I just had a donation. It went very smooth. Sometimes they don't go so smooth, and I've passed out only once. Best nap I ever had. And Clint is actually doing a double donation right now, which is called a Power Red donation. So, this is a donation thing. We're not getting paid to donate the blood. It was a church drive at our church, but we do this routinely because we can and because it makes such a difference. So if you can, please, pretty please, and you can tell me about it and I will say thank you because I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely for a good cause. And the blood supply is always running low. So do the right thing, roll up your sleeve, get out and help some people.
Yep. And I kept my mask on, for the whole time. There's people who are worried about crowds and being out and that kind of thing. You can do this with your mask on the entire time. They're taking it out of your arm, not your face. So, it's.
They can take it out of your forehead though, just in case. You can ask for forehead treatment.
No. If you're donating blood out of your forehead, I think you're an alien, Landauer.
They use a cool little butterfly clips. It's cool. It's fine.
It's hard to find a good vein there unless you're just really agitated.
The veins are throbbing here.
Yeah.
Agitated is my blood type, so.
All right. You guys at Pinnacle, all kinds of news since I had you on last. I mean, so much stuff happening. You mentioned the pre-show. The last time I contacted you was to talk about the Sigil and Pinnacle. We're calling it a merger?
News. How about that?
Okay, had the news. The happening. Yeah. So what can you tell us about the Pinnacle and Sigil happening?
So, spoiler alert, the people at Sigil have always worked with us. Mm-hmm. We hired Sigil Entertainment to do our art. And if you've looked at our books for the past 10 years, it's been excellent. And then when the VTT thing started being a thing, we were doing that through Sigil Entertainment as well. So when we started using more and more of them to do more and more of what we want, we kind of went, hey, why don't we make this just a little bit more formal? So we're still working together. There's no change there. And yes, Christian, Sigil is good people, all of them. So, and actually Sigil was doing so much that after we brought them in-house with us, we split them into two separate companies just because they did not realize all that they were doing. So now we've got three companies under our umbrella. Let me see if I can do that so that people can see it. All right. So we have Pinnacle Entertainment. You know what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that a lot more. Mm-hmm. Then there's Sigil Entertainment, so they can continue doing the tabletop RPGs that you've been hearing about lately. S5E, so Supers for 5E. We've got some cool things coming out for 5E and such related projects later because of this. Anyway, so that's still going to be kind of tabletop focused. And then Sigil Services. Sigil Services is where they're kind of making a name for themselves as being the premier people to make virtual tabletop content of your already published RPG content. So they're actually doing the VTT projects, not just for Pinnacle, but for Paizo, Onyx Path,
Free League.
Pre-League. I mean, a lot of big names in our industry, right? So, and they do it great. They're currently pulling their hair out about the Foundry version 10 thing. Sorry, y'all, that caught them kind of blindsided too, like everybody else. But they are working really fast to get that working. If you have not already upgraded to version 10, your stuff works just fine. If you can roll it back to version 9 until they have it fixed, do that. But if not, it'll be done as soon as they can. I promise you.
You are educating me, Jodi. I was unaware there was any drama over there in Foundry Land.
Well, yeah. Version 10 is not backwards compatible, so
Okay.
all of the modules that didn't get updated beforehand, which I think is pretty much like zero. I don't know how much time the devs really had with version 10 before version 10 was version 10, because it wasn't stable when the devs had it. So, anyways, not throwing shade, but yeah, version 10 did make some waves, and it's great. The features are fantastic, but we just need a little bit more time. And I think the first step for us is going to be the Savage Worlds core, and then everything else flows from there. And we believe that's imminent. I would say soon, trademark.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And then they're not also like working on our stuff. They're working for the other company stuff as well. But all of that is compartmentalized. They've got people who specialize in just the stuff for Pelgrane. They've got just the stuff for Onyx Path, just the stuff for us. So it's not like the same people are trying to do all of it at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Okay. And if you are a publisher,
right? That came out this year.
I heard it was the fun version of the Doctor Strange movie. Like, if you didn't quite like the Doctor Strange movie, check that out. Can you guys hear a trumpet behind me by any chance?
I do.
Oh, sorry. My wife just bought that for my son just today. It just showed up from Amazon. So, yeah.
Yay!
Congratulations on your new life.
Trumpet, go band. Go band. Definitely.
Yeah. So Fantasy Companion for VTT next week, says Christian. Probably not.
No.
Christian says the Suede system is V10 compatible with the premium content. Modules have not yet been updated.
Thank you, Christian.
And Landauer's audio is really low. Thanks for the note.
I turn myself up. Usually,
I know. I don't know if you're ready for full Landauer. That's
right. There we go.
So any publishers who are out there, I put the URL up in the bottom, sigilservices.com, if you're interested in seeing if they can help you out with your VTT offerings. I will probably be talking to them because I do some small publishing and I could use some help in the VTT area. So cool. So guys, what else is going on?
wow. I mean, like we've got a lot. So taking a step back about the Sigil Entertainment news, because they are already so good at 5e content, and we have all these Savage World settings. There's one setting that comes to mind that might be very cool to see in the 5e world. And they are currently looking at that as well as with a lot of people in the 5e world because of the recent announcement by D&D. Deadlands for 5e.
Hey, this is the first time. Is this the first you've mentioned this publicly?
I mean, I think so. Maybe I can't keep track because I keep talking to people, but yes, you're
I
right.
just thought it wasn't me. I'm like the spoiler king, right? So I always get the side eye whenever it's like, Landauer, you were on the stream and you told people stuff that we weren't really great to tell people stuff. So I'm getting spoiled. But
possible exclusive Deadlands 5e is coming.
5e.
I mean, I can't put a timeline on that. It's just something that they're looking at. It would definitely be the first thing that we do bring to the table. That, like if we're going to do anything, it's going to be Deadlands. People have been asking for that for a while. And if you go way, way back, there was a Deadlands D20. Deadlands D20 does not work for Deadlands 5. You can try, I guess. But anyways, yeah.
Well, we've had so much more content since then, so...
Thank you, Grom. I didn't want to be the one who was the spoiler.
Oh, wait. Thanks, Grom. Throw me under the bus, right? Fine.
So I could type in there, no spoilers.
No, but we're super excited, and the team at Sigil has done such fantastic work with 5e. And so folks that are worried, I mean, I'm sure the next question is going to be like, is this going to delay any Savage Worlds? No. So if anything on this, here's a little back end, like, the
Inside baseball.
Right, inside baseball, yes. We are facing a crowdfunding window shortage, not a development shortage. So we have a lot of things that are done or near done, ready for group play testing and fixing up, versus windows that we need to crowdfund stuff with. And crowdfunding really is our best ways to get the crowds we need, get the the upfront people invested into it, and just the eyeballs on our projects. So we are going to be crowdfunding almost everything we can for the near future. But there's only so many windows on Kickstarter we can do, and so we figured if we're going to do Deadlands 5e, we didn't want to bump any Savage Worlds products for it, and just also the team. Like we have a special team. How's it going, Walt? Welcome, sir.
Hey, Walt.
What's going on, guys?
We need 5e developers, so that made
We heard you. Don't worry.
Right? Get Sigil involved because their S5e product is really fantastic. We really do. Okay, cool. There we go. It might not be me, but anyways, we need S5e for 5e developers for it, and that means not in house, reaching out to have folks who know and love Deadlands, but two are really into the 5e development world, and so that's why we're partnering with Sigil for that, because it makes perfect sense. Like they're already really well meshed with our production schedule on the art and the printing side, and that's the benefit for Sigil. So the benefit for Sigil for the big merger is that folks like Simon and Jodi, and a little bit for me, can take the weight off their shoulders for getting the books printed and getting the stuff advertised, and so their projects can go better. But we hope that S5e will be the choice for Supers content in 5e. And then the success of that. So you guys haven't checked it out. There was a great Kickstarter for S5e, and we should have pre-orders open if they're not already. I think in the next newsletter we're letting you guys know all of the.
Well, hang on. What is S5e?
It's super. So it's a superheroes for 5th edition.
And this is kickstarting. This is crowdfunding when?
So it's already crowdfunded. It's already done. The books are in.
Jeez, Mike, where have you been?
I run a podcast focused on Supers gaming, and somehow I missed this.
Right. So I'll shoot you a link to the Kickstarter for that. But basically, we are importing as we speak Sigil products onto our website. So I think next Tuesday we'll be ready to announce where those products are, either for order or for pre-order. And so all of the ease and the cool stuff that we can do on the PEG site, we're bringing the Sigil stuff in. So that's kind of the news on the new bromance between PEG and Sigil.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alice, shaming me. Oh wait, this was funded back in 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was funded during COVID. That's just all one big blur. I don't remember.
That's right. That was the years that did not happen. So
Right? No one remembers that.
So Walt, they're doing Deadlands for 5e. Did you know that?
I've heard. And so
okay.
did my dog, apparently. He's very excited. He's barking his head off in the back.
All the dogs are excited.
Yeah, I thought about you earlier today, Walt. I was at the dog park and somebody had like 8 German Shepherd puppies.
Really?
Accidental litter. They brought them to the dog park and they were doing the whole, hey, look at all these dogs. Aren't they cute?
Would you like one?
Yeah.
One of my buddies just called me and he's like, dude, one of my friends just got a dog like yours. What do we do? I was like, tell him to sell it immediately. Get rid of it.
Walt has a Belgian Malinois, which are challenging, but
those are not entry-level dogs.
No.
Those are some serious. Does yours have the inbred rage disorder that some Malinois get?
There's not some about it. They all have it, and we encourage it. In my first job, if you had a Malinois and that thing wasn't 10 pounds of crazy in a 6-pound bag, you weren't doing it right. But what prompted the big thing for 5e? Was it a marketing choice from like a standpoint to maybe kind of cross-pollinate the two gaming systems?
Well, so speaking with the Pinnacle hat on, right? I mean, we're starting to kind of merge those hats, but with the Pinnacle hat on, Deadlands is our flagship product. We've got lots of great settings like Rippers and East Texas University, and there are so many cool settings that they now have the rights to be able to do for 5e, but we can't do it all at once, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we want to start with Deadlands, because it is the one that's been around for 25 years, has the most familiarity in the game world for us grognards, that want to sink our teeth back into Deadlands and just can't seem to get away from it because we love it so much. It's like what we want to try it in maybe a different system or something like that. If you've got the friends who just won't leave 5e, this is what you're going to be able to play it with.
I just leave those friends.
Now you
Yeah,
don't have to.
friends are worth more than that, though.
I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. But I mean, ETU and Rippers, I love Rippers. But I mean, nothing says love like a huckster. You know what I mean? Get those creepy vibes going. It's just absolutely cool. Deadlands.
You like to deal with the devil? Is that it?
Oh my god! Every chance I get, just to see if I can outplay him.
You like having one of those manitous messing with your brain pan?
I don't judge. As long as I get the power
if you got the demons in your head anyway.
Yes, my man.
Powers out of it, right?
My man. That's exactly. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. Now, what we saw previously to what seems to be great success, taking something like Rifts, which I have the gigantic box set back there. Something like Rifts or something like Pathfinder, and taking it over to Savage Worlds. What is the benefit system wise? What is 5e offering players that they aren't getting with Savage Worlds?
I'd say familiarity. For a lot of people who are just now coming into the industry, they're starting with D&D. Right. A lot of us started with D&D, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, so there's right. Point to the books. We agree. You have geek cred. So when you've got like when my daughter is playing with her friends online, they're playing D&D because they're that's what everybody has heard the most about because of Stranger Things or Big Bang Theory or whatever is out there in the bigger cultural media. So it's the one that gets the most attention. Once they're familiar with that system, then they might be looking at something else that they can kind of step into. And then from there, maybe step into something else. Now, we also love it when they can go, what else is out there? Let's start right with Savage Worlds. It's so much easier. That's what my other daughter does. She refuses to play with her D&D roommates in college because she's like, y'all are all hacks. Just wait till you get your hands on Savage Worlds. And
that's
what
I'm saying.
Yeah, what? So she's like, well, then I'm not playing your D&D. Forget it.
The awful and horrible truth is that to an awful lot of new gamers, people who come in because of streaming or because COVID, D&D is RPGs to them. Mm-hmm. And everything else just looks like some quirky kind of hobby, off to the side in a dusty pawn shop somewhere. And they, D&D can be the gateway and get those folks into the cool stuff. But for so many people, it's all about D&D.
And we're not trying to drive Savage Worlds players to play Deadlands 5e. We're really trying to open the door for 5e players to come and play Deadlands. I mean, it's 25 years of history.
That's great.
And really, if we don't go and claim the Weird West space in 5e, someone else is going to, and it won't be as cool. I mean, seriously, like Deadlands needs to be if you think Weird West, you think Deadlands. So it makes perfect sense that we kind of step in and offer that because there is a demand for it. So say it's why not bring Deadlands versus, someone else play it in D&D?
I say Weird West, you say Deadlands. Weird West.
Deadlands.
Right.
Weird West.
Deadlands.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. You do have to stake your claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing I always loved about Deadlands was it was my gateway to Savage Worlds, and I really enjoyed Savage Worlds coming in through Deadlands. We had just gotten back from deployment in 2008, and I didn't have a lot of time because I was splitting between my regular job and the job I was doing whatever. So one of my friends was just like, "Bro, you got to try Savage Worlds." I'm like, "What is this system you say?" So I was like, I look at the rule book and I'm like, "Well, okay, well this is like a player's guide, right?" He's like, "No, this is it." I was like, "Bro, and it's like everything was, oh no, you just need a 4."
You now know how Jason claims things.
Jason does not go to the dog park. The three of us here that go to the dog park now. That's if you pee on it, other people smell it a lot more. Come on. That works with my dog. So,
what kind of dogs do you have?
I've got a gigantic 3/4 Bernese Mountain Dog, 1/4 Great Pyr under my chair, and there's a 15-year-old Border Collie. That's Hannibal, and then Gemma is the Border Collie around here somewhere. So
that's dope. How would they fit into Deadlands?
So my deal. Here's my little thing. One of these days when I actually get on the publishing train back again, I'm going to put in like the animal companion rules So, here's the thing, right? If they don't have bennies and they're not a wild card, they're going to die. That's just how it works in Savage Worlds. Like, I played Animal Companions in Rifts. I'm sorry, not in Rifts, in GURPS. And you can overpower your animal companion. They can steal the show. Like, it's like the dog. The dog does everything. It's fantastic. It's amazing. No one else gets the limelight because your Super Fido takes the thing. But in Savage Worlds, if you're not a wild card, you are you're very close. And so like other people are like, I don't want violence against children in my games. I don't want dogs to die in my games. Mm-hmm. And but if you allow that, then they turn into a super dog and the players abuse it. So I'm trying to figure out a way of like working around that in Savage Worlds, and when I figure it out, I'll let you know.
So when we play, Clint and I play at our home game, and we have dogs too. I can tell you all about London and Boone. But anyways, we play the animal companions are not wild cards, but you can use your bennies for them.
Oh,
and
right
boy, is that a benny sink. You will spend 5 bennies just to make sure that your horse doesn't die.
Yes.
I mean...
Yes, absolutely.
Right? No one wants the Artax moment.
No.
Like,
no.
I mean, if I needed therapy for anything, it wasn't how my parents raised me. It was watching Artax die in the swamp. That's
no, there were so many movies from our childhood. The Transformers cartoon, Never-Ending Story.
Yep.
I saw The Thing from John Carpenter when I was way too young. Like, when I
Are you kidding? That was high entertainment as an 8-year-old.
Right. Fido ain't so cute in that one.
No.
So have you in some of either the reports of playtests or in the playtests that you've been able to sit in, have you guys found like something that really works in 5e?
Well, one thing we want to bring to 5e, Christian Serrano had a question up really earlier. So they are different experiences, and normally we say don't convert, right? That's kind of the comment. Like when people bring stuff to Savage Worlds, it's more translation. You've really got to bring the fluff but leave the crunch alone. One thing that we really don't want to give up though is the bennies. I mean, bennies are such
it's iconic.
Right, it's iconic. So 5e doesn't have that. It's there's ways. So that's one of the things that we really do want to make sure when 5e folks get to play Deadlands in 5e that there's that Benny experience that will be new to them, and that's my answer for that. That's the one thing that we're kind of making sure gets translated is Benny's. I know it's a little more the other direction than you were asking, but Benny's is where it's at. So
all right, cool. I don't want to talk all about Deadlands 5e because you have so much going on. I mean, there's just tons of Pinnacle news. What is the next upcoming project you'd like to talk about?
Oh, let me share screen. I'll run through the stuff. Let me see.
Go for it, man.
Oh, don't you threaten us with a good time.
Oh,
I know, right?
Meanwhile, Jodi, what kind of dogs are we talking about?
So I have a lab mix. She's all black. That's London. Her sister Paris has passed away, but that's okay. We still have a London.
Sorry.
And then Boone is an Australian cattle dog with the worst bark you've ever heard. So he's not allowed to utter a sound ever.
Do you have this recorded, and how may I get this?
No, just Google Australian cattle dog. It is the worst thing you've ever.
I've dealt with them.
It's spine tingling bad. It's like, oh god, and so Boone is 50 pounds. London is 56. She's a little small on the lab side. You would think that he has like a small dog bark for a 50-pound dog. So think Australian cattle dog, but small dog bark. It's the worst thing.
Oh my God,
I might have to record it sometime.
That could be a superpower in S5e.
It could, right?
It's an attack. It really is.
Peg Steph has a horrible habit of naming their dogs after cities. So I had a border collie named Dublin who recently passed. Jodi's got
London and Boone. Boone's in North Carolina. Yeah.
And then Shane's got a dog named Brooklyn. So
what kind of dog is Brooklyn?
He's small and old. A little brown. I think it's a beagle mix.
He's probably a beagle mix. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cute dog too.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
I used to have a pit bull called East St. Louis. Not really. I just made that up. Sorry.
It's a good name, though. It's a good name.
Yeah.
The South Side of Chicago. You know that song with the Leroy Brown song when they say like the East Side of Chicago? There is no East Side of Chicago. It's a lake, guys. The East Side of Chicago is a lake. But anyways, so here's S5e. Here's the one. So this will be on the Pinnacle page. We were hoping to make this the premier supers for 5e. And so you can check out that Kickstarter, just kind of what it's about.
Are you guys getting hate mail from Green Ronin? You don't have to tell me, sir. I'm trying to be funny.
Friendly competition. Friendly competition, guys.
All right, cool.
Yeah, no, we're willing to go to. I mean, the more competition, the better and cooler stuff that gets put out. So, right. I think it's east side. I'll check. Anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right,
no one wants to go to the south side. My mom's from the south side. Anyways, the
SYV
on
is
our
coming
own
out.
supers. If you're staying for the Savage Worlds fan, guys, supers.
Superpower companion, right?
Check your orders.
Shipping
because,
soon. Yes.
Right?
Can't wait.
So yeah, we've got an update on the site for supers that the shipping in October. So we're very excited about that. So that's news. And then
Stop there, Landauer, because anybody watching this, go check your order. Make sure your address is right. Make sure you have everything in there. Make sure you didn't accidentally remove the Superpowers companion when you were upgrading another order or something. Something weird might have happened to get rid of your order. It might have just been something you clicked. Anyways, just email us if you were like, I swear I pledged for that. We have the records. We can find it. Just email us. Don't panic. So check your orders now. Also, you have until September 20th to add anything you want to that order, and it ships for basically the same price. So do it now. Okay, anyways.
Less than a week, 5 days. And yeah, we had a bug for a week on the website where some folks' orders got canceled. So just double check, make sure your order didn't get canceled. If it did, we'll be able to restore it. So Supers is coming. So we are thrilled to have books in hands for people before Christmas for this. Because, I think it's our first game changer. So,
yeah,
right?
It was.
Full circle. So yes, that's Supers. And then if you're in for some similarly themed Deadlands in space, we currently have a game changer for Deadlands Lost Colony.
Speaking of Deadlands.
Right. It is 270% funded. Thank you, folks. We're really excited about that. This one's great because I personally missed the first Kickstarter. So Deadlands Lost Colony, it's already in Suede. Folks, if you're worried about nope, already in Suede. Peg snuck this one in right after the Suede Kickstarter itself. And so I think some folks missed it. So if you missed it, you can back for $10, get you in for the PDFs. So really easy price point to get in if you just want the book. And then all the way up at the 150 level, this is I won everything and I forgot to do the last Kickstarter. So you get the box set with all the goodies. There's a ton of goodies in the box set for the first part of the arc. And then you'll get everything from this one. So this is in the first Kickstarter. The Deadlands Lost Colony picks up where Deadlands and Deadlands Hell on Earth left off. And so this is kind of the end of the Reckoners arc. The Reckoners have come here to their final reckoning. And in the first Kickstarter, the original plot point campaign, you take on war and hopefully resolve that. Maybe you died, maybe not. But this one is now famine. And so it's number 2 of the 4 Reckoners. And so we're excited about that.
We have special collectible bounty cards.
Oh, yes.
So that's something new that we're doing with this game changer. So that when you back this campaign, you're going to get in print or in PDF. I don't know how that's going to translate well to PDF, but you can get it for PDF. But you're going to get special foil cards. I think that's a collectible thing. People like that. Anyways, it's going to look super cool. And you can get the stats for the coup on the back side. So if you're the character who actually kills war or kills famine, you get something extra cool. And it'll say on the back what you get. So
we're looking for foil for these too. We're going to see if they can produce this size in foil, which would be really cool. But yeah, so Mike's got the link at pegink.com. If you go to the very top of the page of Peg Inc., right here between Deadlands and Curse of Crimson Throne, just click right there on Deadlands Lost Colony. That'll take you to our Game Changer page.
Or go all the way to the right and click that Game Changer thing, and you'll see all of our Game Changers.
So
right on.
Here's all of them. So yeah, Superpowers Companion, if you want to pick that up, it's shipping in October, so you can pick it up now and get it shipped to you next month. But here's the one for Lost Colony. And as long as we're here, a bunch of files just came out for Pathfinder Curse of the Crimson Throne. And so the APG's been out for a couple weeks, and then just this week we released the whole plot point campaign and one of the other books. I think the Guide to Corvosa. So check your downloads.
Stop talking in acronyms. Landauer Advanced Player's Guide.
Advanced Player's Guide. The cool thing about the APG, the Advanced Player's Guide.
Yeah, we're bad for acronyms because it's, our company and everybody knows what we're talking about inside our company.
Right.
But yeah, no, not everybody knows what that is. So
I hate that too. I guess it's my personal bugbear when people put acronyms in like emails, and I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Of course, I used it in my never mind.
With the so this one, the Curse of Crimson Throne plot point campaign is in your downloads. And again, if you're pre-ordering, same day pre-order, and then those will be delivered to you. They're still in alpha. They're still in play testing, but there is a link in there for the playtest feedback. So all of the cool additions to the characters, like the I think it's like 6 new. It's like the Oracle and a bunch of other like really cool character types are in the Advanced Player's Guide, and then the Crimson Throne plot point campaign. Not really plot points, but they are adventure paths.
Yes.
Adventure path books, and right. And then people notice on the
Jason.
the Superpowers companion. There's some new art in there, so thanks to you. So people do ask, like, "Hey, do these crowdfunders make a difference?" They do, guys. If we meet our goals, we put more art in the book, and so cards not available. Nope, they are a crowdfunder exclusive. So that's one of the crowdfunding perks is to grab those during the crowdfunder. And they might show up at conventions. Maybe you can.
We reserve the right to hand them out willy-nilly as like a personal freebie or something as a guest at a con, but for purchase on our website, like anybody can order them from around the world. No, it has to be during this game changer. So do it now. And again, we're testing the waters on this. This is something new for us, but we do want to make it cool for the people who support us during the active campaign. So we think that's a good draw for it, and we hope that everybody else agrees. Certainly show it by pledging today. That would be great. Let us know what you think. There's a whole section on our Game Changer for you to leave comments. We invite your feedback.
Yeah, so on all these pages, like right at the campaign, you click on comments. You guys let us know what's going on, so you can tell us how you feel. But one more thing we want to. So this is the last thing I'll pitch before we go to the questions or whatever else you guys want to talk about. So this isn't in-house. This is all of our wonderful licensees who are part of the swag program, the Savage Worlds Adventures Guild. They've got their Swag Timber bundle this year. It's a huge bundle. It is, I think, if you bought it all individually, it's like $84 of content, and that's really cheap. A lot of these people, they really put their prices low. But the bundle is fantastic. And coming up here in an hour and a half on the Peg Twitch, we'll have a couple of our creators. Christian, who's in the chat, he'll be there with Jen Sutcliffe. And I think we've got Ovchevsky and a couple other folks to do their part of the Swag Timber bundle. But the last 3 of our summer showcases are all going to be Swag Timber creators. So a bunch of folks in here. It's an extensive list of really cool stuff that you can add to Savage Worlds. A lot of really great ideas. Everything from like, hey, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, cough cough, with Big Bad Wolf, to more fun in space, to horror, to the Cradle of the Grave is part of the Vermilion. That Kickstarter's coming next month. Oh, I'll spoil that too. So we have a Kickstarter next month, and
we hopefully have a Kickstarter next month.
Right, we're planning on having a Kickstarter next month, which is going to be big. So we've done the other companions on our Game Changer, but we are going to combine a companion with a setting. It's going to be Pine Box Middle School, PBMS, which is the East Texas University aged down to middle school. And we're going to put that with a horror companion next month, along with our Hollerween 3. So that's the other thing. So I'll stop sharing, but the Hollerween 3 is open for Game Masters to submit events. If you check our newsletter, it's in our newsletter on where you can submit, but it's on Tabletop Events. Search for Hollerween 3, and so Game Masters can get their games. And we already have like 30 games in, and we just opened it up like 2 days ago. So all the good stuff. So yeah, we've got a pretty packed schedule, folks.
Yes, the horror companion. And I'm going to call out Christian. I hope he runs a game for us on Hollerween. Like, it's the whole weekend, y'all. You don't have to run every single day, but if you can just do like one game, that would be great. If you can only show up for one panel, like we don't have our panels in there yet, but we're going to.
Are you guys looking for publishers for the panels? Because I've got a few Savage Worlds books, and who do we talk to about that?
Absolutely. And if you guys
are we looking for content?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
The answer is yes, all of the above. And if you guys have an idea for a panel you want to do during Hollerween, yes, just shoot me an email, chris.landauer@peginc, or info@peginc. It's easier to spell than my last name.
Okay.
And we'll put those things together. So I think we had over 100 attendees last year on Hollerween 2. So it's going to be a big online convention this year. We expect it to get bigger. And
What's the date on that again?
It's the last weekend in October, so I think it's the 27th through the
29th
30th.
through the 30th. Wait, yeah,
29th
28th through the 30th.
28th
So
through the 30th, yes. So.
basically Halloween weekend, but not actually Halloween because that's a Monday. Yeah.
All right, cool. Anything else we want to talk about? Any other projects we want to announce or publicize while we're talking?
If anybody in the audience wants to ask about any of our lines, I mean, I think the audience, there is more riffs coming because people are always questioning when the riffs is. We've had Sean on, so you can check the Peg Inc. YouTube for Sean. But the next books in the riff series, because those are coming in from the printer too. It's great. We've got I don't know if we have the exact ship date yet on that. I'll check the. But there's that's we have a lot of imminent stuff. I mean, it's going to be shipping from pretty much next month through the new year on kind of all the staggered projects, which is exciting. And the next Rifts outing, it'll be the new year, so not between now and Christmas. So you can save a little before the holidays. So in the new year, it's going to be Land of a Thousand Islands, which is South America, and then that's going to be a Kickstarter, also combined with Terror on the Dark Frontier, which is a very cool, like Bleeding Kansas-esque theme plot of what's going on in the middle of the country in America in the Rifts universe, but aged up several years from the last publication. So yeah, we were excited for both those. So the Terror on the Dark Frontier is going to be a horror at Headstone Hill style box set, and then So
real quick before we go into what Alice is asking for about Pine Box Middle School, because you mentioned Riffs, and our friends at Palladium are running a superheroes bundle of holding right now. What better place to talk about that than here? So we put a link to that in our update for the Superpowers Companion to let people know about it. Lots of good information there that you can pull for your Savage Worlds games. And it benefits a great cause, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which is a cause that we donate to for all of our bundles of holding and a lot of other projects we do. So near and dear to our hearts, and so are the Palladium people. So please check that out. And now, Pine Box Middle School. Let's see here. Kids on bikes. How weird was your middle school, right? It's already, can you imagine middle school, but in Pine Box? I mean, Tracy's been doing some good work on Scott's already amazing material. It's been a lot of fun to watch the development process on that. I haven't had my chance to dig in on the material yet, so I can only say what I've seen so far. Landauer, do you have anything else to add?
Oh yeah.
Do you have any of the art to share? I don't think we do. Do we?
I do. So let me.
Okay, cool.
So I've got the archetypes. Let me pull those up in a window where you can see them. But the archetypes are great. We want to get the art up. I'll tell you about them. So we need the art. There's the country kid, the medium, the gamer, the animal lover, the ghost hunter, the delinquent, which just sounds amazing, the crafter, and they've got like a drone. So really kind of cool little rules for that. The budding scientist, the athlete, the entrepreneur, the scout, and the fine arts student. So those are going to be our archetypes that come with Pine Box Middle. And so it's kids on bikes, but it's not in the 80s. It's actually modern. And so one of the cool things is like cell phones, right? Like what do you do with kids horror, when you have cell phones? Like why don't they just call the police or the parents? So what the mechanics, instead of like a Deadlands fear level, there's a cell phone bar level that is a global mechanic, and the game master can move it up or down, and that changes the rules and the dynamics of what happens, what the roles are, what stuff kids have access to based upon how many bars they have on their cell phones. And so you can still do that kind of isolation you really need for true fun horror. And we're not killing kids here. But
I can't call the police. I don't have any bars.
Right, no bars.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the kind of fun we're having. And also, just like like there's one of the maps we're giving you guys is the lunchroom, and I'm personally, we don't have art for it yet. There's no guarantees. It's not a pawn now, but I'm pressuring Shane that if I want a lunch lady pawn, because I think that would be amazing, right? Lunch lady pawn. So maybe it's a social goal. I don't think we're doing stretch goals for this, but maybe we'll do a social goal for the lunch lady pawn.
Well, since it'll be on Kickstarter, there might be some stretch goals.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, maybe.
That's right. But that's if we can get it on Kickstarter. So the problem there is we can only have so many projects running on Kickstarter at any given time. And all of our projects on Kickstarter, other than Curse of the Crimson Throne, are pretty much just in the shipping lanes. You know, we can't do anything about how fast they're going to be shipped at this point. So we're going to have to reach out to Kickstarter and get special dispensation to be able to run a Kickstarter. Haven't done that yet, so that's why I don't want to commit to it yet. Target date for the Sci-Fi Companion. I'm sorry, friend, we have not even started development on that. Or I shouldn't say we haven't started. Some people have, but they haven't put it on the calendar yet. By that, I mean Shane.
So here are the archetypes here's the art for those archetypes for Pine Box Middle.
I'm going to give you a full screen layout just so we can kind of see those. Hang on.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a little more.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. And another cool thing about these as pawns is they're scaled appropriately. So when you put this pawn next to an adult from like Lost Colony, they're not going to be the same tall, you know, they're not going to be the same height. So we worked really, really well with they paid particular attention with the art to make sure it was scaled appropriately. So you can't really get that feel here, but you can when you see them next to the other pieces. Thank you, Jason.
And you did ask about Animal Lover and like how you might bring a dog in a Savage World. So there will be some extra rules on how to have your pet involved in, at least in Pine Box Middle. So that will be coming. And then as long as you got me on screen, here's the page for Hollerween 3. So yeah, October 27th through 30th. And if you guys want to get badges so you're informed when games are open for sign up, buy a badge. They are free. And then if you are a game master who wants to submit events, also submit events. And then you guys, game masters, when you buy badges, I'll just show you this, guys, as long as you're here. It shows $2 because we have to do it this way. But when you go and buy the game master badge, it shows $2, but if you log in, I'm sorry, I gotta log in to do this. Anyways, when you go to buy your badge, there's a link that says apply coupon. Apply that coupon, and then your badge will be free. It's literally right under where he wants you to buy the coupon. So don't pay the $2. We'll cover the $2 with the coupon code. So I just wanted to let you guys know that was there. So
the platform has to make their money, but we don't want to make you pay for it. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. So then let me stop sharing screen. Boom. There we go. Awesome.
You know, a cheesier man would make some callback to the 80s movie and say they want their $2, but I'm a better comedian than that, so I won't do that. That's low-hanging fruit.
Wow, you're dating yourself there, bro.
I'm half a century old. This youthful face you see is just the results of prayer, clean living, and vitamins. So.
And standing out somebody's window with a boombox.
John Cusack was so young once.
You know, John Cusack now has a direct-to-video, direct-to-streaming career in crime thrillers. You wouldn't even know if you aren't like cruising Amazon at 2 in the morning just looking for it. It's kind of weird.
You have time to cruise Amazon at 2 in the morning?
I mean, you got to pay the IRS somehow. So.
Yeah, fair enough. So, kind of like Tom Selleck also does private investigator movies, but unless you look for them on streaming or Redbox, you never see them. So yeah.
Man, mustache goals right
dude,
there.
All you got to do is just approach Tom Selleck and be like, "Look, Savage Worlds is perfect for this. We need to hook up. We need to team up."
Quigley in Deadlands.
Yes.
You can get Kevin Sorbo, some kind of creepy preacher, hero guy. It'd be fantastic.
I think I even have art for that for Tom Selleck as quickly. Okay, I'm gonna find.
Don't you threaten me with a good time?
Just wait. There's Chester involved, so in case there's any kids around.
Bring it. Let's go.
I'm gonna find it. We can move on and surprise you because it'll take me a minute, but.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, what else are you gonna do with these AI? Okay, so these AI art creators, I think they're fantastic. Mid-Journey and all that. So I've been working on one. I mean, okay, so this is not a peg thing, so nothing there. But
we all have our personal projects, you know.
Right? But so I've got a little idea. I mean, just developing it myself in the back of my head is fun enough. Even if it never sees the light of day. But think of Napoleonic era with steamships, right? Airships, steamships, just and if you think, okay, so Napoleon, if you're in the atmosphere, which is kind of like space, and you got Napoleon, it's like him versus everybody. And they kind of have all the cool uniforms and all the cool ships, but they're kind of the guy you kind of need to shoot out of the air. It's very much Darth Vader, right? You got to go there. So if you've got Darth Vader, you need the the scrappy little nerf herders from all the other countries. And so trying to make a, let's not do the likeness of Harrison Ford, but have a Harrison Ford kind of character. I was like, who kind of has that vibe? And of course, Mr. Mustache has that vibe. So that's why this was created, just to let you guys know.
Not that you were just trying to look for people with mustaches and trying to emulate.
Oh, mustaches, hairy beards.
Don't forget the chest hair.
Mm-hmm. Yes, totally my type. Call me if this is you. But so yeah, not a peg project. So if there's any other peg product questions, we can answer those while Landauer goes and finds the crazy art that he's been making. It's PG-13ish.
Ish.
Oh my god, let me find it.
Speaking of like PG-13ish, if we want to talk about like our pet projects, so Clint and I have started up a new duet game, and I think that we totally need to do duet gaming again as a panel during Hollerween, because the one panel that we did, one live stream we did was just not nearly long enough, right? So we got to get the crew back together for that. But for our next duet game, we've finished our campaign in Deadlands. But we were like, where do we want to go next? And of all places, we decided to do Fae in LA. So we are members of the Fae Court in 1927 LA. So kind of a little bit of Deadlands Noir, Call of Cthulhu, we're having fun world building at it right now. But that's my pet project. So my Pinterest is filled with like lots of really cool things. And we're binging, Miss Fisher's Mysteries all over again. Fun stuff like that.
Okay.
Hey, here we go.
There's Quigley in Deadlands.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
right?
Yep.
That's Tom Selleck in Deadlands. There we go. Told you I could do it.
Yep.
Your wish is my command.
Any chance for more 50 fathoms? Says Super Doobie Doo.
Super Doobie Doo. I love your name, first of all. So we don't have anything currently on the docket for 50 fathoms, but we are making sure that we continue to support all of our settings by doing, and I shouldn't say all, because there's some that we just probably are not going to go back to, like Evernight. Sorry, people, we love it. But but 50 fathoms, oh my gosh, that plot point campaign is like the chef's kiss. Like that is the best. That is what all other plot point campaigns aspire to be. So I would not be surprised if another thing gets put onto the list for that sometime soon. We do have audiobooks out. We have short fiction out. We have one sheets for that. If you have not found those already, go find those. Yeah, it was so much fun, right? It still is. People are still playing that. So I love it. I did the editing pass on the second printing of that. So
Was that one of your first projects that brought you into PEG, right?
No, but it was one of them. Yeah. It was, the first one was Low Life, actually. And now that's a Mutha Oith Creations project, because that's one of those many things that we built and then we kind of handed over to the creator when they went on to other, build their own companies. So Low Life was hilarious. Oh my gosh. If you have not read Low Life, I mean, even if you never play it, you got to own it and read it, especially, I think, appropriate for Pine Box Middle School, because it is nothing but 13-year-old boy-like humor all the way through it. Just poop and fart jokes the entire way through. It's great.
Sold.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, that's where Mike hangs his hat.
Yeah, I have no shame. Sorry. Yeah. You say fart jokes? Well, that's 50% of my personality by volume. So
right?
yeah.
And the other 50% is Monty Python, and they're coming to an RPG market near you soon too. I was like, Monty Python RPG.
We're all going to be checking that out to see what's new and different, but also probably just to laugh our butts off.
I feel like I've played the Monty Python RPG just from playing RPGs in the 80s and 90s, being around people who 50% of their personality was Monty Python quotes.
Right? I can't imagine ever actually getting to the game. I think it would just be 100% Monty Python quotes instead of like 60% Monty Python quotes, 40% playing. So
it'll be interesting to see how they rein those quotes in so you actually get to the game, unless that is just the point of the game.
Yeah, it's part of
to
the mechanic,
outquote
maybe.
Everybody else.
Yeah, I know with games I played in, usually rented in through hard stares from the GM and occasionally profane language, but I don't know if you can put that into a rule book. And Super Duper Doo says again, maybe someone has already asked because I'm a bit late, but any sort of sci-fi stuff coming other than Ma? I already have that in the cart.
Thank you. Thank you for backing Maw of Oblivion. Thank you. Let me think. What do we have that's coming up that's sci-fi or space-based? And there's, well, I mean, I always feel like Rifts has some sci-fi in there, you know.
Warlock Marines.
It just has everything. And when we play Rifts, there's usually a trip to another, well, you name it. You know, it's not maybe hard science, but anyways, it's fun science. Landauer, is there anything I'm thinking of or that I'm forgetting? Anyways.
Anything that we've announced, like...
Nothing we can talk about. How about that?
Yeah, oh, and then the answer about the companion. So the sci-fi companion is not soon trademark. So
not this year.
Not this year. Not early next year. So that one's don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath.
I don't know what this means, but Kristen Serrano was asking NE3 ?
You've never heard of NE3?
Oh wait, Necessary Evil. Okay.
Yes, that one is still on the docket. It is still in planning. Like Landauer said, we have so many projects and only so many only so many platforms that we can get them out through. So we have to kind of line them up and push them out. So that's one reason why we made Game Changer, first of all. I mean, we've spent, I guess, maybe 2 years total, if you count the past year in live testing it.
Kissy
and the year
face.
before that. Let me see.
Are you kissing your dog on the mouth? Well,
Baby.
Look at that face.
Yeah, half lab, half bully. She thinks she's all that in a pack of batteries. So,
She knows it. She knows
pretty
it.
much. She's been trying to nose her way into everything. Little punk.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, we're heading towards the top of the hour. I think this has been a great show. Any last closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
If you could see one thing in Savage Worlds that hasn't gotten hit yet, what would you want?
Okay, so not for Peg, but I've got a great police procedural game with a kick on the setting. That's kind of one that I think that niche needs to be filled. I didn't go serious with it, but I think that the rules we developed for it could go serious. But I think that's kind of a cool, and there's an Ace product that's Thin Blue Line. But I think a whole series of rules for investigative kind of police procedure would be kind of fun. No on Starfinder. Everyone's like, oh my God, Pathfinder is great. So here's the deal, man. We've got Lost Colony and we've got a whole nother space setting besides Lost Colony, Last Parsec. So between those two, I think our internal in-space juices and itches get drunk and scratched.
We have 5 plot point campaigns out there for the Last Parsec. So
don't forget a soundtrack. You guys have a Last Parsec soundtrack.
Yeah, there's soundtracks for a few of our settings. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of content out there for it.
Right, and we don't want to compete with Starfinder as Starfinder is getting its footing and establishing its own content. Cool thing on content, though, Mike Barbeau did get to spoil this in our last launch stream, is that the Paizo has looked upon us with such grace over the 2 Kickstarters that you guys have supported so amazingly that they have opened the door for original content for Pathfinder Savage Worlds. So I think at minimum, we'll do some one-sheets that'll be original, that'll be in that, maybe more. I don't know, no promises, but definitely one-sheets. Which is pretty exciting for us because that's, a one sheet is a very Savage Worlds product versus an adventure path. And so now, hopefully, with kind of either the next Kickstarter or some other fun stuff, we'll get to do Galarian themed one sheets. So
what's going to be hot, Chris? Owlbears. It's all about owlbears.
Oh,
They're
God,
so
no.
cute. They're so cute. They're so, like a little people when they do art and they do owlbear cubs, they're just so cute.
You like owlbear art?
There we go.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
Oh, that is so funny.
Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit. Yes, that is perfect.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you the hundreds and hundreds of owlbear AI art images I have behind that. But
See, look,
Mike,
you,
do you have an
and I
addiction?
have been productive on this AI
Yeah.
art generator thing, man.
My big thing for this Dolly 2 was celebrity names, and you got to kind of coax it, because they have logic that doesn't let you say Keanu Reeves as an owlbear, but if you say Keanu Reeves from The Matrix 2 as an owlbear, then you can get that. So, but yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. Anyway, way off topic. Forgive me. Sorry.
That's fine. I was going to ask you what you guys were up to lately. Like, tell us about what's going on with you.
We have we're working on another Kickstarter for the After,
Nice.
another adventure companion. But John has been really busy doing art for
Sorry.
Walt's company. John Gibbons, the main artist for the After, which is a popular Savage World setting. So whenever John gets finished doing art for Walt, he can come back and do art for me, and it'll come out. So
He's been slamming that stuff. Oh my God, it is so good. It is so good.
I can't wait to see it.
John is a talented man.
Yeah, the after art is so evocative. It's good stuff.
Well, this isn't the After. This is something totally separate, and he was just slamming it out.
Walt it was under a setting based on a series of novels called Forgotten Ruin, which is basically the elevator pitch was imagine a battalion of U.S. Rangers at Helm's Deep.
Okay.
Nice.
And you don't have any art handy, do you, Walt?
Some. Hold on a second.
That'd be a good thing to end on.
See what trouble I can get into. Yeah, yeah. We have a very passionate following. There are a ton of Savage Worlds players that we get to talk to because they're also readers, and they're like, oh, I play this in Savage Worlds, and then like a lot of our readers are kind of like, what is this Savage Worlds you speak of? And there's a crossover because we have. When people start talking about Savage Worlds in the in like the forums and stuff like that, and the different like groups, people get confused because I work for the two authors that their main like draw is this thing called Galaxy's Edge, right? And Galaxy's Edge is kind of like what would happen if you mashed Star Wars and G.I. Joe together, right? It's very cool, very popular. And when we start mentioning Savage Worlds, one of the main bad guys in the setting are called the Savages. So they're like, "You've already made a game?" It's like, "Wait a minute, nope, not me. Hold on, wait." So we usually point them in the right direction. So, Mike, this is the covers of the first 3 Forgotten Ruin books.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
they are so much fun. The authors have really crushed it in the research department. So they brought on as technical advisors 3 United States Army Rangers to make sure they got the Ranger part right. They brought in a bunch of D&D guys to make sure like the fantasy gaming aspect was right. It's not lit RPG. It's its own kind of genre, almost like Portal fantasy. So it's a lot of fun, and we did a role-playing game Kickstarter with a couple of different systems, and just John has been crushing that art. It's so good. So
I just love that it appears to answer the question. It's like the fun old brain thing of like, how could one guy with unlimited ammo and an American assault rifle like win at Waterloo and just keep going back and back and back, right? Like, could one dude, stave off the barbarian invasion or whatever? It's like Helm's Deep is kind of where like, how many orcs could you take down?
The great thing about it too is that if you look at the force that they chose to kind of represent that idea, the United States Army Rangers, the closest historical aspect I could pick that would give you an idea of how rabid and intense these guys are. Imagine the Spartans at the height of their effectiveness, right?
Yeah.
So we brought in 3 technical advisors to sit in the books and say, what works, what doesn't, blah, 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 blah. But the great part about the books is that the books aren't told from their perspective. They're told from the perspective of the translator they brought along.
Ooh,
So
okay.
not only are you guys dealing with like, not only are you dealing with this like this new culture, like you got all these orcs coming at you and they're bringing bad guys with them and wizards and everybody's like, what the hell? But he also has to navigate Ranger culture, which is equally as alien to him. So it's just a really, really, and it's got one of those opening lines that when you read it, you're like, huh, That's okay. Yeah, I'm in. Might as well.
It's got to have a good hooker, that hook. Well,
Oh
good
yeah.
hook sentence there.
Well, hey, we have just edged by the top of the hour.
We don't
Oh.
judge.
I think it's time to wrap it up. Jodi and Chris, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Walton.
Our
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
Thank
I
you
loved
so
it.
much. Yeah, absolutely.
Love
thanks
hanging with
for
you
coming.
guys. Thank you.
Always a good time. Thanks everybody for checking us out, and we will see you next time on the BAMF podcast.